one here between QsQ357 and PUDG. And again, being a replay cast, we're going to go ahead and do a quick countdown, so get ready, Trell.
Sure,
I'm have ready. To press that play button. Let's go 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
All right, so we should be in sync now. And we should be good to go here with what is going to be game number 1. So let's go ahead and jump into the game, because that is right. Again, we are ready here with Q Squad taking on PUDG in game number 1. So with that said, as you can see, the blind bans have taken place, and I actually cleared it out. But anyways, the blind bans, it looks like there were Jeremiah and Ophelia for the Legion team, and then Wild Soul and Plague Rider coming out here for QsQ357. So not too much about the blind bans here, although I guess a little bit, especially with the Plague Rider, really. Maybe stands out a little bit.
Yeah, the Plague Rider stands out a bit, but these suicide heroes are gaining suicides, and jungles seem to be running the game in this metagame as of late. I've talked about, there's lots of different hard carries to choose from, being Silhouette, Mage Bane, Draconis, Dark Lady. We've even seen Forsaken Archer. We've even seen Arachna, although she's not really a super hard carry. But there's a lot of different things that can be substituted in that hard carry role in the short lane. But to make sure you get your hands on a good suicide laner and a good jungler, that's the most important thing in my opinion, and that's what heroes or teams are looking out for.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that Arachna. I'm trying to think back. Was Arachna? Was PUDG the one that played Arachna?
It was. All I know, it was against TDM, and TDM was playing.
Okay, it was trademark. So that was Q Squad then. That was Q
Yes.
Squad. Must have.
Yeah, it was.
That's
right.
Yeah, because they played them in the first round. So
yeah, and there was a Draconis on the other team, and Arachna just.
It was Style. That's who it was. Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, Style played Arachna. Went the Energizer. That was definitely an entertaining game. Like you said, he kept going bottom lane. I think it was against Draconis and ganking the crap out of him. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting game there. I think that was game 2 of that series, and made it very, very fun to watch. But in the end, of course, they did end up losing. But Arachna is a hero that she has. Both you and I think she has some potential, and we would perhaps like to see her a little bit more on the competitive scene. But that is the one time that we've only seen her.
Well, she went for that time as the locks are actually going slowly for once.
Yeah.
But she went for a Steam Boots Energizer right away and had it like 10 minutes and was just doing work with that. So anyway, back to the game. The locks are almost finished here. We got a Luna, Tempest, Parasite, and then PUDG decides to follow up with Meraxis and Glacia. So one more lock following. There's the final lock. It is Pebbles coming out from QsQ.
You are ahead of me somehow. It looks like I was trying to make sure that we're actually on at the same time. It looks like we are very close, actually. But anyways, it looks like my final lock is actually coming out right here. So Bubbles will get through the fun, and then as you said, the final lock.
I have a different.
You're in a different game. You loaded a different game, sir.
I loaded the lock.
It's supposed to be the first one. It's game 1.
I just went to the. Okay.
Oh, replay casting at its finest. Here we go. This should be I believe I am in game number 1. I believe I am in game.
They locked the same thing. They blind banned the same things. That's why it threw me off.
Yeah, that's go figure. They actually blind banned the same heroes. Anyways, so the game that you guys are looking at is actually the real one, so that's what really matters. The banning phase is just about to start right here, but actually for the locks this game, it was Pebbles first, then it went into Fade Meraxis, then Bubbles Cthulhu, and then of course Devour, actually, the final lock. So,
yes.
Going with the Devour lock here. See, now you're actually loading into it. So
what time?
I'm currently at, I'm going to go ahead and pause at 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the replay counter, so just go ahead and let you catch up here now. Having some fun old replay issues. With
3 minutes, 40 seconds. I'm there.
Dropmador is new to this. It's okay. Okay, let's go ahead and press play.
They locked the same. They blind banned the same heroes.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right.
There we go. Okay, we should be good now. This is the right game. Okay, we're good.
Yes.
Okay, so anyways, now that you get to see the actual locked heroes here, what do you make of them, Trev?
Well. I see the resemblance from the first.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Devour kind of throws me off a bit. Now, I think it's a very fun hero to play. It's actually quite good against pushing as well. If a team is able to push and then you're able to get a lucky hook onto somebody and isolate that hero away from the rest of the team and get a very fast kill on them, it basically makes the fight 4v5, similar to like a Pebbles jumping in, but it's the opposite because you're pulling them to you. So it's even a little bit better. But it's hard to lane Devour, so I think it's more of that troll-style lock. But the rest of the locks are very strong. Fade, Pebbles, Bubbles. Again, like I was talking about still, is securing heroes for the suicide role. Right now, we actually only have like Bubbles and maybe Cthulhu. in that suicide role, so that's one thing to point out.
Yeah. Seeing the Fade lock there, I know that's a hero that you've been addressing a lot lately as definitely being just such a top-tier hero here on the competitive scene. It seems like more and more teams are becoming interested in just running her and really crediting her as a top-tier hero. So seeing this lock pool, wouldn't be surprised to see her picked up by either one of these sides, but we'll wait and see. The banning phase taking place now. We had Draconis was the first ban, followed by Demented Shaman, and then Dark Liddy to go with that. So, man, yesterday we had some very quick picking phases. Like you said though earlier, this is kind of the opposite. We're having a very slow-paced picking phase here. Some good amount of extra time already being used, especially on the Legion side. But Nymphora, the follow-up ban, so one more ban to go on either side. And as always, still plenty of powerful heroes there on the board. Tundra is one that's really standing out to me as being available still. So we'll see with only 2 more bans left if Tundra indeed is banned. But you still got Glacius, your Luna, your Silhouette, your Mage Bane. There's a Tundra ban. And now QsQ going to ban their final hero here.
Again, it's kind of interesting to see Tundra banned when it's from the team that's in first position. That always kind of strikes me as a little bit interesting. Of course, with teams having a strategy in mind, maybe that doesn't fit their lineup. That's one thing that we don't know, or might not know. And so the final ban coming out from QsQ. Not quite sure it is. Again, there's tons of powerful heroes available right now still. I mean, you have Silhouette, you have Mage Bane. Another thing to think about is with Fade being in that lock pool, and PUDG being first position, they can get that Fade first.
Yeah.
That increases the value of Mage Bane a bit. So.
Yeah, it definitely does there. Tempest with the first pick actually going to come out here from PUDG. Of course, the final ban was Glacius. So Tempest going to be snap for first pick. Again, with a phase that's been kind of slowly going here. PUDG, they knew what they wanted the first pick. Go with the snap pick Tempest. You agree with that?
I like Tempest a lot. I think she can fit in lots of different lineups. Again, it's a hero that's very versatile. We've seen Tempest run in the jungle, just free farm like crazy. We've also seen Tempest just go in that suicide lane and also get good lane control and do just fine that way too. So it's a very safe and versatile pick, and especially if you have a good Tempest player on their team, it's very, very late game. As you say all the time, it's not always over, especially against a Tempest, because you could always have that chance for a 5-man hole.
Yeah, that ultimate, really one of the most deciding ultimates in the game when it comes down to it, and one of the most recognizable, really, especially on the competitive scene. So, yeah, solid first pick there coming out with Tempest. A follow-up picks from QsQ is going to be a Luna Parasite, actually. So they, too, going to go with the jungle. As you talk about, Tempest not necessarily full-time jungle. He has been playing in Suicide, but so you get the idea that, of course, Parasite being a jungle hero as well, to go with the Luna. So QsQ, some 2 strong picks themselves. You like the Parasite pick?
Yeah, I think Parasite, when he's picked up, especially against a Tempest that's smart, wanting to be aggressive against that passive jungler, if they do decide to go for a jungling Tempest. Now, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, they have an aggressive, or perhaps they could have aggressive trialing with Parasite and a Luna. Maybe it's best to not jungle and just throw Tempest up in that suicide lane. So it's one thing to think about. Now, Mage Bane Empath coming out. Empath is a hero, again, I've talked about this for quite some time. Not only is it so strong in buffing, a hero like Mage Bane or tank heroes as well. I really like seeing her in tank heroes. Her ultimate, that is. It's just a strong way to make her completely immune from everything. Once she jumps into somebody, you cannot target her. You can't kill her. Any kind of spells being cast, like AoE spells, doesn't do anything to her. So, I know Tempest is on their team, but say she's in somebody and a Tempest uses that ultimate on her. Say she has a push book in her, she can still use it. So it's a really good tool to have.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, Forsaken Archer going to be the final regular pick here from QsQ357. So that is their carry of choice. I did choose her over Silhouette, as you can definitely mention. Fade is going to be first pick out of this lock pool. So that goes to show you how highly PUDG definitely values a hero like Fade, especially since they didn't even lock her. They actually locked Pebbles first. Then, of course, Fade and Moraxis were followed up from QsQ357. So what do you make of the Fade? And they picked that pretty quickly, too, as the first pick here out of the lock pool.
Well, I just want to say, I think it's kind of weird first to have Fade locked in there in that second position. Fade has grown, so popular within the last couple of weeks, and especially when you've picked a Mage Bane, it should scream a red flag that you need to also take Fade first. Fade is a very strong counter. I mean, some people argue, well, I just don't have to get my mana burn, I'll be fine. But no, it's still that's a useful spell, man. At any time in the game, it's useful. So, and just on top of that, Fade's just good on her own right. So.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Of course, seeing that they went the Mage Bane pick, it's the case of, really, do we have another option? We just want to take Fade. Again, she's a powerful hero in her own right, definitely. So it makes sense there, but you do give up Pebbles with that said, of course, to Q Squad, and then they also followed it up with the Bubbles pick of their own. So now the final pick is either going to be more Access, Cthulhu Font, or Devour. Indeed, it's going to be Cthulhu Font, as we see right there, the final pick for PUDG coming out. So now that we're looking at both teams, we get an idea of what exactly they're going to be running. I mean, you talked about Empath and how you especially like her in more tanky style heroes even. Cthulhu Font could definitely fit that, so... what do you make of how the Legion team finished right there with the Cthulhu Font final pick?
I think they were kind of forced to pick that. Not that it's a bad thing necessarily, but I think we're going to see a Cthulhu Font in the Suicide lane. One very important thing to note is Cthulhu Font's usefulness in that Suicide lane, especially on Legion now, has really diminished with the change of that hard camp. The position of it. You can no longer easily get to that or have access to it. It's a little, it's not nearly as safe as it once was. If you check that out again, it's just you have to go all the way around it completely. So that's one thing to note. So he's kind of lost his pizzazz a little bit as a Suicide hero, especially on Legion side, but it's still strong. He could still fare well. And actually, they pulled him just a little bit of extra regen. That's a strategy we've been seeing quite frequently lately.
Yeah, interesting. Of course, you talk about the 3 extra runes of the Blight that are delivered to Cthulhu Font to allow him to take it to this top lane. It looks like he's going to be able to get a Mortar Sight down freely, as I don't believe the Hellborn team's going to look to stop him. As you see the Hellborn team and what they're doing, they're sitting 4 players bottom, actually, and I got a little bit of bug on my screen. It doesn't look like it's on yours, but looks like Luna's actually trying to talk in chat, so
let's
we can
go,
see
guys.
You talking.
Let's make
this
our own
whole
voice
time. Let's go, team. I don't know why that's
Bubbles.
his voice. Bubbles,
Behind me.
you go, Shell Surf. Oh, that's just silly. Anyways, they're going to try to charge in right here. It doesn't look like they're going to catch anybody, though, as the Legion team quick to react themselves. And, of course, going to be more than fine. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed, by the way, Cthulhu Font running into Parasite, but he did get the Word of Sight down, so mission accomplished there. Lust Empath, again, passed up on. Now, Ultima Defend initially had her, and she actually has the Lust skin. And so I was like, oh, we're going to see a Lust Empath. Sweet. Unfortunately, they changed it up a little bit. Mega Beaver is actually going to be the one to play Empath here, and he does not have the Lust skin. So yet another Empath game trial. Well, we do not get to see Lust just yet. I know you especially. You talk about it every day. How you just can't wait to see Lust and that ultimate skin. So, anyways,
actually, I like the attack animation a little bit more on the regular skins.
Yeah, I don't even notice that.
I think it feels different. Just the way that she kind of winds up her attack on the newest skin kind of throws me off a bit, but it's not the biggest deal.
All right, so we're seeing how the lanes are setting up, of course. It looks like it is going to be Fade going to the middle lane, actually, here. And he's going to be matched up against Aluna Pebbles here in the middle lane. So Fade, to say the least, not going to have the greatest time, at least initially. We'll see some adjustments that are perhaps going to be made. Mage Bane, of course, will be at the bottom lane. Going to be babysat by Empath down here. 2 versus 1 against a Bubbles. Jonas Fan, he's currently sitting in the jungle, just leeching experience as he really should. He talked about Cthulhu Font and how this little ledge right here may screw things up a little bit. He does go over, though, still. He uses that level 1 hook him, and he takes there. Didn't even see the creep, but he got whatever the creep was there, and he's able to take advantage of that, at least initially. So now that you see the laning phase looking here, Tralf, what do you make of it?
I think it's going to be good for Mage Bane. You know, obviously he's going to get complete free farm. As long as they control this lane, he'll do just fine. They'll be able to. And Empath is a good hero as far as getting a hero like Bubbles and just trading auto attacks, because you're trading auto attacks at the same time right there. The Essence Link, you're gaining life, you're dealing damage, so you can really, really trade Harass quite efficiently. I mean, look at that. It's just so efficient for Empath there. Top lane, Cthulhu Font did get good lane control, so kind of poor lane control there by Nox playing that Forsaken Archer, unfortunately. Killed the wave very, very early on, quite rapidly. And then in the mid, Fade obviously is going to have a very, very tough time. It's important for her just to get levels, because it's going to get bad. Right when it gets to like level 3 or even level 2, they can pretty much kill her right away. So she's got to be very, very careful. Just stay right on the edge to get that experience, and that's about it.
Yeah. Again, I'm watching that Empath against Bubbles. I really feel for Jonas Fan. It's a very difficult situation for him, constantly taking harassment. So as you said, with that Essence Link ability and just the straight-up auto attacks from Empath, very, very powerful, and a lot that he's going to have to deal with. Now with the top lane, Cthulhu not even using an offensive trample right there. He needs to be a little bit careful, though. Crippling Volley is up, but Forsaken Archer's choosing not to use it, going to save the mana and instead get Cthulhu Font to fall back. But you talked about this as well. Yeah, you look at the lane control. Not the most efficient so far by Forsaken Archer. Constantly is being pushed up. Aluna is coming up here with a double damage rune, and they're going to actually look to try to go for a kill, maybe even. Yes, they will hit right there with the Crippling Volley. The Aluna still on top of that. There's there's the power throw. The trample backwards by Cthulhu, sticking near to the tower, figuring that would be his best bet, but it's not going to happen. And Luna will get credit for the bloodlust kill, actually. So Forsaken Archer is going to take a little bit of tower damage there, but in the end, of course, she will be fine. So good start, of course, coming out from Q Squad as they pick up the bloodlust kill at the top lane. Good roam from Luna.
I feel like he could have just trampled away and saved himself. That seemed very, very silly to me. So. Yeah, kind of interesting right there. Luna makes her way back to the mid. So does Empath, though. Empath finds herself in a world of hurt and gets taken out quite easily there by Style. Gets the last hit onto Pebbles. So that is not what you want to have happen. I really think, yes, I don't think they need to help this Fade, honestly. She can get her levels. She can get a level 6. That's all she really needs. Of course, yes, something like a portal key is great in the later stages of the game. But right now, it should be focused on keeping this Bubbles down, which, I mean, they're doing to an extent right now. But he's going to be able to get some good experience down here, knowing that Empath just died mid. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about that middle gank, too. I mean, that was Empath, of course, being there at level 1. It was a very well-placed Stalagmite coming up from Style there, playing Pebbles. He happened to hit both Fade and Empath, set up a beautiful stun, of course, from Luna on top of a power throw, and really it's just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So good execution coming out from the Hellborn team and getting a follow-up kill to that bloodlust kill, and obviously looking at a 2-0 hero code advantage now, coming up to the 4-minute mark here. So all across the board, news looking pretty solid here for Hellborn's side. However, you do have a Mage Bane who is obviously free farming down here, and boy is he taking advantage of that. T-Jor here on Mage Bane just really maximizing the potential. 29 and 12. Again, I don't know the exact math, but that has to be near perfect, honestly. When it comes to creep farm, he's already got the Steam Boots finished. He's farming nearly 400 gold per minute. That's no assist or hero kills. I mean, this is just straight up creep kills here.
Yeah, he's doing a really, really good job. It's basically 8 creep kills a minute, I want to say, with 4
minutes,
every 30 seconds. And then the siege creep comes as well.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he's basically perfect. Now mid lane, some volatile action coming on. Fade's going to be in a lot of trouble. The chuck does happen, but no, she's going to be fine. The actually stun coming out from Empath there. It's only a minor stun, but it did help just a little bit. And then Fade's going to use that health potion, be just fine. But yeah, an interesting game so far. Mage Bane getting a complete free farm down here. At the same time, Forsaken Archer. Yeah, again, I said this, I think, yesterday, but she's really seemed to be the flavor of the week, has she not?
Yeah, she definitely has been picked up a lot. And, I mean, that's the thing. It's not like she's a hero that we never saw before. I mean, she's always been a hero that's been on the competitive scene for most of her time. It's just, you know, as you like to classify, you know, there really is that top 4. But it seems like lately, you know, she's even been picked up over heroes like Mage Bane, like Silhouette. Luna gets chucked on Empath here. Stalagmite's going to be used as well. But Luna now in a little bit of a dangerous spot. Nice wall off from Empath. She's going to put the stun out with the Essence Lake. Fade is chasing her down, but she doesn't have enough mana to follow it up. And in the end, both will be fine. But yeah, that was an interesting decision right there. Pebbles is like, go up there, Luna. Chucks her up there and kind of puts her in a bad spot. But in the end, really no harm, no foul. So they both survived. So they had a little bit of a risky play there by Style. But hey, he wasn't the one really involved. He was just putting his teammate in that spot. I will say Bubbles here is managing to get some decent levels despite this free farming Mage Man. He is now level 4. And obviously a lot of that has to do with the fact that Empath has been sitting in that middle lane for a good amount of time now. After she got killed, even she went back to the middle lane, as we saw right there. She is still investing her time up there. So, I mean, do you think that's an issue? Does that make sense to you that they really want to try to babysit this Fade now and try to get her some farm?
I suppose. I mean, I guess their thinking is, you know, Mage Bane is fine at this moment. He can actually harass Bubbles on his own. If he just decides to stop creeping for just a minute, he can blink up there, be very, you know, very aggressive right in Bubbles' face, get a couple auto attacks, force him to use that Shell Surf. By the time he gets 2 auto attacks, 3 auto attacks in, and plus that Shell Surf, Bubbles is going to be out of mana. And actually, Cthulhu in a lot of trouble up here. He does have all of his mana saved up. The volley has not been used. The fake volley, actually, good job by Nox. Still faking the volley, gets the real one off, and it's successful as well as that ultimate. So really well played there from Nox.
Yeah, that definitely was, and no doubt the faking the volley really earned him that kill right there, because obviously if he didn't bait that trample out, he would have just trampled it off shortly after and probably would have been fine. So yeah, very good job by Nox right there, baiting the trample initially and landed it after, and then obviously set up the kill really himself. Parasite was there, also being the distraction. So now 3-0 hero kill advantage, so we're talking a lot about this Mage Bane, but how about Forsaken Archer? She has actually overtaken the top GPM in the game. Obviously a lot of that has to do with the fact that she is 1-0-1 on top of a pretty solid creep score for herself. Not as high as Mage Bane, but it's definitely up there and very respectable. So, yeah, Nox here, Forsaken Archer for a Hellborn team. No doubt a big impact so far in their favor. And then you have Pebbles on top of that. By the way, bottom lane, they do set up a kill. Tempest ultimate was used. Sorry, I missed that, but Mage Bane comes in and assists, of course, on top of the Tempest ultimate and gets what I'm sure wasn't too difficult of a kill on the Bubbles right there. So more farm for this Mage Bane is included in the assist, and just like that, he too now has overtaken as the top GPM of the game. And a little bit of push is going to come out of this as well. So we're going to have a good old-fashioned case of, early on here at least, a good old carry versus carry here with Mage Bane versus Forsaken Archer, it looks like.
Yeah, and at the moment, the most important thing coming out for Q Squad is that they're getting farm in this Pebbles. I've said this many times, but of course you want to get your hard carry farm, but the playmakers like this Pebbles, and actually the stun comes out, the Chuck to follow. There's a stun, and actually misses. He tried to get a double stun off of the creep from a Luna, that is. Unfortunately, it bounced to the wrong, not what you wanted to, I want to say. But yeah. Of course, you want to get your hard carry farm, but really the playmakers, the heroes like your Pebbles, heroes like even your Parasite for that matter, the ones that are going to be getting kills, going to be aggressive onto your carries, those are the ones that really need the farm early on. Yeah. Not necessarily, I mean, of course, yes, you want your Forsaken Archer to get farm, but she'll bounce back. Your Mage Bane, he'll bounce back, but right now, getting this Pebbles lots of farm, actually Pebbles gets another Stalagmite stun, as well as that DD rune on top of it, and the Chuck. It's a very easy kill onto Empath, so Styling it up right here.
Style looking good as always. He is now over 300 gold per minute. He's got those steam boots, that bottle as you talked about, and his farm no doubt very, very solid. Comparable though is that Tempest here for the Legion team. Going to run into a Wild Hunter actually being controlled by Parasite, of course. You see Fade coming over. They're going to go for a counter themselves. They do not know the Wild Hunter's here though. In comes the Burning Shadows from Fade right there, as well as the Cole, but they turn around on our Tempest. Actually, the double damage Pebbles is here, and they take out Tempest. Fade is just going to have to run away. So yeah, again, really good job by Parasite, playing very patient right there. Just did not give away the information that he was there for the longest time, and that really caused the Legion team to overcommit a little bit. So yeah, well played on their part, and they're now 5-1 in hero kills. So yeah, very, very solid start for them. But like I just said though, obviously with that death, it will slow down Tempest now, but Tempest has been having a pretty solid farm himself. But again, that death, no doubt going to slow him down. We see Babbles in the middle lane. In the meantime, not going to be a kill by any means, but he will take a little bit of harassment there before he walks away to survive in the end. So definitely, you got to say the favor right now is looking good for our Hellborn side. Overall, it is a 2,200 gold lead on top of really about a 600 experience lead. Minimal there, but still a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, things are definitely looking very good for them. I think Pebbles is going to get a very early portal key, and he can pretty much combo every single one of these heroes, except for maybe Cthulhu. But even then, I feel like with a little bit of support, they can still just give anybody if they want to. Once he gets that early portal key, actually, Empath is in a lot of trouble right here. Finds himself in the top room, was trying to camp it, but no rune available anyway. Nice. But very good wall there coming out from Mega Beaver. He's going to be just fine. Actually, he has not a single item on him right now. But luckily, he's able to escape because otherwise he would have had 0 gold yet again.
Yeah, that's a little bit interesting there. But obviously, as you said, he survived. That's what matters. He's not being food for the other team necessarily. The fact that he's still alive is, well, the good news. But yeah, the farm, lack of farm that is definitely showing. Forsaken Archer going to get a combo here at the top lane. Burning Shadows on top of the trample. The Obliterate is activated, but Payless will pick up the kill nonetheless on that Fade. And Nox goes down. She just purchased her Whispering Helm. She's getting aggressive right there, pushing the tower. Obviously, though, that cost her as Fade came in with the Invis and set up an easy gank on the Nox in the end. So well executed there for the Legion team, and, well, much needed on top of that. As I just said, she just finished her Whispering Helm. So Forsaken Archer continuing to have a good farm. That death will slow her down a little bit, but she still will be pretty impressive as she's going to resurrect in about the next 10 seconds. But again, this big focus, though, really has to be on those Pebbles, as you stressed earlier, and he's getting really close now to that portal key, sitting at nearly 1,800 gold here.
Yeah, it's getting very, very scary. He's very close to it. He's probably going to try to just farm it out in some camps here in the Newts, I'm not sure. He's going to run into a Tempest, though, if he's not careful, as well as an Empath, although Empath is pretty much food for this Pebbles if he does find her in a combo. There is an Invis. Oh, actually, it's a Mage Bane who does get comboed on, but he's quite tanky. There's all the spells coming out from Parasite. The ultimate Kelpfield used from Bubbles. Tempest trying to do something, but actually is not able to do anything. Just kind of has to stand there. That's the beauty of the Kelpfield. Going to try to suicide, but not in time, unfortunately. So Style does pick up that kill. He actually does have enough for his portal key. This is looking really, really grim this early on.
Yeah, this is a very tough spot already here for PUDG, a.k.a. Dendy's Jungle Devos, finding themselves behind. But you see Pebbles Pebbles is going to chase a little bit. He hasn't purchased the portal key yet. He is worried about the kill and nothing. I see Empath. She does have a couple of wards on her. She has a Revelation, but you see the Wild Hunter being controlled by Parasite. Runs in range of the tower. He don't care, though. He's going to go and win the ledge in top of the Shell Surf, as well as the combo from Pebbles. Easy kill. Set up on it, fading out. Empath realizing the world of her that she's about to experience right here. One more auto attack should do it, and no, Parasite not going to get it off. You see Empath a little bit of ring around the freaking Rosie here. A Mega Beaver good for now, but Bubbles says he's tired of it. Puts the Shell Surf out, and a double tap coming out for Jonathan Fan on that Bubbles. In the meantime, Forsaken Archer pushing the top tower. She's going to get her killed right there in favor of the Hellborn team. So all of a sudden, in just the last 30 seconds, we went up about 3,000 gold. So about a 6,200 gold lead now, as well as a 2,300 experience. That, as you stressed, it's a looking very solid here early on for the Hellborn team. And there is the portal key, obviously, on Pebbles. He was also had enough gold to follow up with the Amulet of the Exile as well. So getting himself a decent mana pool, always important on top of that.
I think if Empath is able to purchase boots before the 20-minute mark, that's a small, personal victory. I mean, look at her. She's not going to be able to do anything. She's level 4, 50 gold per minute. And it's not necessarily Mega Beaver's fault. I mean, just this lineup is very, very aggressive, and it's just going to get even worse. Now Portal Key picked up on Pebbles. He's going to be able to just have free reign on this map on pretty much everyone except, like I said, this Cthulhu font. So it's going to have to be the Legion team is going to have to suspect something, but either way, they're not going to be able to farm anything with this Pebbles having a portal key. So it's going to be very scary. In the meantime, like you mentioned, Forsaken Archer farming very well. Top farmer in the game. Almost 400 gold per minute just sitting there in the jungle with that Whispering Helm. That's the beauty of the Whispering Helm first item pickup. I really, really like it.
Well played by Stahl right there. He chucked Fade back, and he threw the Stalagmites out behind him. It actually looked pretty beautiful there, and got the easy kill on a Fade once again. So already using that portal key. Meanwhile, the bottom lane Mage maybe a lockdown, trying to make something happen, but now he's in a lot of trouble. The Fade's on top of the Tempest ultimate, but there is absolutely no fault. Or is there? The Trample comes in, the Obliterate activated, and PUDG is going to get a couple of big kills right here. You see Parasite. He goes in the Hell Cannon, trying to survive. They take out the Hell Cannon, though, and Parasite will be pulled back with the SS Drain, stunning him, and yes, he'll finally fall. Nice job with the piercing arrows over on Forsaken Archer. Will get the kill on a Tempest. Trample hit by Cthulhu, but now he's in a lot of trouble. Stalagmites coming up from Pebbles. He does have the hook activated, but it don't matter. The Chuck on top of Forsaken Archer, and down it goes the Elephant. You see Ampash, she ports out before too much danger goes on herself, but in the end, QsQ finishes it off strong, but that had turnaround potential written all over it. Hell of a Tempest ultimate, but like I said, the good ports from Forsaken and Pebbles just really ruined it.
Well, I'll tell you, that Tempest ultimate was really well placed. It had 4 people in it. But then on top of that, the Cthulhu font charge did so much damage.
Yeah.
Talk about, I mean, that's not a composition I really think of as Cthulhu font, Tempest combination. But it did a lot of damage, but then the response coming out from Pebbles, coming out from Forsaken Archer, sticking on that Tempest, by the way, the whole time, making sure he got a very sure kill on him before he got away. So, really good job by Nox and Style, especially getting that poured in and cleaning up when he could.
Mega Beaver is level 6 now, and that's obviously a big benefit from that fight. She also gets delivered a Homecoming Stone and a Ward of Sight, so again, basically sitting on nothing when it comes to items. But she has her ultimate now with the all-in-one ability, or as-one ability. Love always making up names. And she will start to be able to use that, so using on Cthulhu font, using it on Mageman, perhaps even Fade in certain situations. Could be very beneficial here now for the Legion team, so we'll see if she starts taking advantage of that. Middle tower was taken out by Pebbles in the meantime, and speaking of Pebbles, he's level 11. He is hungry. He's out for blood, but they're going to run into the Legion team right here. Comet goes down. Down goes, that was at least a Luna got picked up. Pebbles will fall shortly after, and the Hellborn team bit off a little bit more than they could chew right there. Bubbles is going to shell surf away, as you do see Empath using the as-one ability, of course, inside of Magebane, but not going to be enough. Or will it be? They actually blink on top of Bubbles, and now Bubbles is going to start dropping right here. Magebane a little bit quick here, of course, with the Empath inside, and going to blink once again, draining that mana. In comes Fade. Burning Shadow, the quick Q press there from Bubbles. It is going to be a kill in the end on to Bubbles right there. Very well executed, and they want more even. Trample comes over Cthulhu Font. Well, Forsaken Archer is just a little bit too far away, but they're going to push this top tower now, as of course all 5 are up here for PUDG, and right now there's only 3 here from the Hellborn team, with 2 currently being dead.
This could be scary, though. I mean, I don't know if they're going to... Yeah, okay, I think they're going to have to back away. It was a good idea, but they don't have the ultimate up on Tempest yet, and the respawn's coming out too fast for them to really handle. They're just going to back up, take their win right there in that fight. Good job by them. Diffusal Blade picked up there by Forsaken
No Fire
Archer.
Blade, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. No Fire Blade picked up there by the Forsaken Archer. Kind of an interesting pickup, but strong nonetheless. The mana burn's always good. It does lots of damage, so.
Yeah. That is an interesting pick. The first thing that I look at with an old Fireblaze, by the way, Magebane got killed at the bottom lane. Pebbles obviously just jumped in into this combo, so happened to pick off Magebane. So good for him and QsQ over there. But when I always do an old Fireblade purchase, the first thing I look at is about, what can it remove, especially offensively, if not defensively. And nothing initially is standing out to me. I mean, I don't really see anything as far as being that really powerful. Obviously, you can't, purge Empath's ultimate. That would be pretty ridiculous. But, yeah, there's nothing that I can really see that's that significant. But as you said, it's still solid damage. It has the mana burn effect and still overall pretty solid item, even if you're not really using it for that purging something off ability. Pebbles, in the meantime, he got the tower kill, but at what cost right here? Empath goes inside of Fade. Faded with the ultimate activated. She's waiting for a cooldown, apparently. I don't know exactly why. She gets dusted, actually. And they need to be careful. Now, I'm not sure why she didn't just open right there, honestly. It seemed like they could have gotten the kill, or at least very, very close. But Pebbles is going to be fine, and he has support coming. And Fade decided it's best to just port out with Empath inside. So they went for the route of escaping rather than going for a countercode. Now, they did have a ward aside over here, so maybe they spotted the support coming in. They just chose to play it very safe. But we see a push now coming out of this from our Hellborn team here.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing. I also feel like she could have killed her, but maybe she didn't know the cooldown of Pebbles' spells and didn't want to risk it and took the safer route. But nonetheless, in the meantime, I mean, Forsaken Archer is just farming up a storm. Now, No Fireblade is an interesting item. Don't get me wrong, it does do a lot for you later game. Being able to have that mana burn, it's going to really do wonders against specifically Cthulhu. And also the Purge ability, it's a very strong ability. People really underrate that. It's really helpful in team fights. Think of it as a Scotty on, or sorry, Frostwolf Skull on crack. Like really, it is when you do use that. Now you mentioned there are no spells that you can really be used as a defensive item. Like say they use a Sheepstake, you can purge that off. Say they use a Hellfire or Hellflower, they can't purge that off. Yet there's nothing here right now, and actually there's no heroes that really come to mind as picking that up, except maybe a Fade. But it's still an overall good item. It's just a little different than we normally see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it can remove the hook him. I mean, again, I'm just trying to think. I guess the hook him, maybe it removes that. I'm not even sure if it would with the shield that it provides. I'm pretty sure it would remove the flash ability, so the blink ability from Magebane, the armor. So again, but like you said, I think that's slow, as you said, and that's even maybe be considered underrated to an extent. And if anything, that could be the possibility of what she was really looking for out of it. On top of the mana burn, and on top of just really the amount of damage it helps, because it is obviously a really agility focused item. I mean, giving you 26 agility. As well as a 10 intelligence. So yeah, pretty solid in the end here for Nox on Forsaken Archer. Again, just kind of different, but it's still very powerful. It is level 2, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that, but she eventually upgraded it to level 2, and she just purchased something else. What was it? It's being delivered. It's another Quick Blade. So she was just stacking that agility like crazy. That will probably turn into a Firebrand, and eventually the Geometer's Bane. They're going to take out the triple stack Ancients right here. You see Forsaken Archer with that split shot, doing a lot of the damage. Really kind of a team Ancients, though. So good teamwork coming out here from Q Squad, and again, continuing to look at about an 8,500 gold lead as well as a 4,000 experience lead. But again, when you're dealing with a Magebane especially, you can never be too excited, especially one that's having some pretty good farm, continuing to do so. 354 gold per minute. He's got his Rune Cleaver now, so that's the big mark. Took him a little bit longer than wanted, sure. But he does finally have about 20 minutes in, and he has started to use it now on some stacked camps. Kongor is being attempted here by Q Squad. And it looks like the Legion team is pretty aware that it's going on. They're going to start heading over, but I believe Q Squad is going to be out of there before too much of an impact happens. But again, Magebane with that Rune Cleaver, we'll see how he starts to take off here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Magebane with Rune Cleaver and the Steam Boots farm so quickly, especially if there are stacks involved. And
Boots on Empath.
Boots, did I say 20 minutes? Bam, I'm right on the money.
You're right.
But it was past 20 minutes, so you fail, Mega Beaver. You fail. No, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, the Rune Cleaver on Magebane, that is. I just think he's already so far behind this Forsaken Archer and this Pebbles, and he's really going to have to keep farming and going on his own right now. He still can't show up to team fights because he'll still get obliterated. There's just too much burst and too much damage coming out from the Hellborn side, but he's going to have to wait till he gets at least like one, maybe if not two more items on him, which means he's going to be segregated from the rest of his team, and it's just going to be like a 4-on-5 all the time. Yeah. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be a passive game for PUDG, but QsQ, I don't think they're going to have any of that. And they're going to get this Kongor kill. I'm pretty sure it's very, very close. Token of Life probably going to go on that Forsaken Archer. And we might see a fight here. I hope that PUDG backs away, because that would be horrible if they get initiated on right.
especially since Codex was just delivered to Parasite. They're going to try to jump right there. The nice kill fiddle. What comes into place? You see the as one ability used on top of Cthulhu Fawn, trying to save the wall off. It will wall off a couple of the heroes right there. And in the end, they will survive. So, yeah, good attempt right there from the Hellborn team trying to get aggressive. But PUDG did play very smart, as they should have. Fell back, and they all survive in the end. Yeah, we always talk about that. It's one of those cases, okay, you lost it, just let it go. That's the worst time to go in, right as they get the token of life, and they're all 5 ready to go. So they do fall back, and now they're going to prepare themselves for a more appropriate fight here and hope for the best with that said. But as you were talking about, the burst on this Hellborn team is pretty damn ridiculous. You already have a level 13 Pebbles, a Soul's Bulwark picked up. You have a Parasite now with that Codex, as I just talked about. You got Bubbles dishing out a good amount of burst damage himself, and there's a level 15 Forsaken Archer that's putting out some good right-click auto attacks on top of a Piercing Arrows, of course. He's got the token of life. She's got a Firebrand finished, and they're going to push this tower, and I don't think the Legion team is really going to do anything to stop this. So, yeah, it's going to be a free tower kill here coming up for QsQ.
And Mala playing that Parasite took over Vulture Lord, just add insult to injury, is using that tornado to kind of stop the enemy team from doing anything to stop this push from happening. So things are looking just really, really good. Starting to spiral a little bit out of control right now. It is a 10K gold lead for QsQ. 4,000 experience lead, so not the worst thing in the world. Magebane trying to do some aggressive farming in the enemy woods. Going to find himself coming across his Bubbles here. Bubbles, by the way, has enough money for his portal key, and that's going to be just an even stronger initiation coming out from this Hellborn team, coupled with that portal key on Pebbles.
Yeah, and then again, that goes with that burst idea as well. The fact that he's going to be able to blink in now and set up some good burst right off the bat, completely catching off guard is very powerful. And on top of that, you know, having that Song of the Sea, not only for the damage, but that silence. I mean, the fact that it silences you for 3 seconds now at level 4, Magebane especially is going to be affected by that. If he cannot blink away, really makes him such a powerful hero, or helps him to be a powerful hero at least. You know, that's really, really good for you and your team, of course, in this case for QsQ357. So, yeah, all across the board, things are looking pretty good here, to say the least, for them. Now, you are dealing with the nice deny in the bottom tower, by the way, but Tempest does have 1,800 gold, so he himself is getting close to a portal key now, and he's going to clean up the jungle a little bit, perhaps even this bottom lane, try to get that. They're going to push the middle tower, and that's going to put him pretty close, actually, to be able to pick up that portal key. So we'll see if the Hellborn team does anything to stop this. It doesn't look like they are, because in the meantime they take out the top secondary tower, but there we go with the middle tower, and Tempest needs just a couple creep kills now. In fact, there we go. He has enough gold for the portal key. That's what they were really looking for, I'm sure. And that is a good news, but he's going to get jump rares. Can he at least purchase it? He will purchase it, but he's in a lot of trouble here. Bubbles chasing. That Calfield comes out, and Tempest is very likely going to die. If your Tempest just don't panic and do anything stupid, yeah, he's going to fall right there. And good catch in the end. But he did get the portal key, so again, that's the important thing there for our Legion team at least.
I mean, it's good. They got a kill on him, and actually they're like, I don't know why you're pushing right now, actually, PUDG, because your Tempest just died. There's no reason for you to be there. Magebane is going to be very aggressive on these illusions, but there's really no reason to be pushing right now.
Oh, he tried to port out right in front of
my God.
Forsaken Archer, and he makes it. Where the hell did he ported the top lane? He didn't even port back to base, and he's going to farm the creep wave. I love it. Wow. That was a half a second away from death right there, but he lived.
That was way too close. Way too close for me. Anyway, yeah, kind of an interesting push right there. Now, yes, Tempest did get the portal key, but I question how effective that's really going to be in this game in particular. You think about, okay, well, if we just get this Tempest with the portal key and a Shrunken Head, he's going to be just fine. He gets a big ultimate, cool, but no, actually, even still, Parasite can still cancel that. You're going to have to wait until you farm a portal key, a Shrunken Head, and a Null Stone, and that's just not going to happen at the rate this game is going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, speaking of portal key, though, we do have Fade actually picking one up herself, so they are responding a little bit in that sense of getting some gotcha potential, and they want to be the ones to start the fight, and, you know, they too have an okay amount of well, not really. I mean, when you compare it to the Hellborn team, especially, the burst damage on the Legion side isn't really that comparable. But, you know, having that jump potential with Tempest, with Fade, is at least helping them a little bit right there. But as you said, I mean, even if Tempest gets a clutch ultimate off, the likelihood of getting all 5, which is really what he's going to need to do right now especially, is very, very, very minimal. So they're going to push the bottom lane here. In the meantime, them in as a QsQ, of course, and they're going to get a free tower kill out of it. Forsaken Archer, yet again, you talked about it, man. The flavor of the month hero lately, for the week, whatever you want to call it, is just yet again having another just strong performance when it comes to farming and just dominating farm this game, and even over a Mage Bait with that Rune Cleaver is sitting at 400 gold from him, not too bad himself. She's at 512. They're going to push the base here, and the Legion team is just letting it happen for now. So a case of, I guess, they just don't feel confident that they can make a stop just yet. Will they let the melee racks fall? They're going to start to push up a little bit here, so they're at least showing that they're going to get their presence in this fight. But again, Forsaken Archer does have that token of life for another minute 50 now. They do get a tower kill themselves, as does the Legion team actually on the secondary tower. You see the Hookem was not purged off right there, so that answers that question of does the Nullfire Blade work against that. But you see Forsaken Archer again with the token of life especially. She's just sitting up at the front line, just doing her damage on the melee racks, trying to eventually take it out, really forcing the Legion team to make a decision soon here as far as what they want to do. Tempest with that portal key, he's trying to find it, but look at this spread from the Helpmore side, actually. It's a perfect circle, really, of just you're not going to get all 5 by any means. So they're playing it very, very smart, as they should be. And really, it's just a matter of time now before the Legion team maybe makes a move. You saw what Magebane did right there. He blinks right next to himself. Obviously, he's putting the buff up for his team if they were to get involved in a fight right there. So in case you're curious what he's kind of thinking. But yeah, we're kind of at a standstill here. I mean, neither side is making that big move as far as initiating just yet. We do see another wall coming up. Forsaken Archer taking some damage. Just under a minute now on the token of life. God, I think it's coming soon. Crippling volley will hit. There's a piercing goes in. Here we go. The Helpmore team. Stalagmite's coming out. Cthulhu dropping quickly. And Cthulhu will fall. The Song of the Sea New comes in. Where's Tempest? Oh, Tempest gets stunned in the background, actually. He tries to put a key. No, he cannot. That Calfield holds him in his place. We see Magebane jump in the foreground. Magebane will fall immediately. Out comes the damage on a Fade. The melee racks goes down. Fade will fall. Magebane does buy back. Tempest is still waiting for that ultimate opportunity. But Pebbles will chuck Magebane back in. There, no Fire Blade is used. There's the Tempest ultimate, but absolutely zero follow-up. Forsaken Archer will fall. Of course, coming back up, though, and I think that could have been the game-deciding moment right there.
Oh, and then kills Mega Beaver in the well right there as Nox. Just a really good job right there by specifically the Pebbles. I mean, Nox found a really good opening there on the Cthulhu. The mana burn, the ultimate there, doing so much damage. And then Cthulhu should have just tried to charge away as soon as that volley was done. Wanted to wait a little bit longer, but waited too long because the Pebbles Stalagmites hit him just right at the very end there. Now, he did activate, I believe he does have a barbed armor.
Yes.
And that did actually a lot of damage to Forsaken Archer, but didn't matter. She had the token of life. No one wanted to focus her because I felt like if you'd focus her, that would be just like wasted spells. And overall, QsQ just overran them with all the farm that they had.
Yeah. Speaking of all the farm that they had, Forsaken Archer finishing her Geometer's Band, and she also purchased a Thunderclaw on top of that. So, man, Forsaken Archer going in kind of a unique build here, obviously with initially the level 2 Nullifier, now a Thunderclaw picked up. But I will say, I mean, she's attacking crazy fast now, and on top of that, a lot of agility stacking. I mean, you see the damage that she's 203 to 209. It's so quickly. We see right here, kind of an idea of how fast it is. So, yeah, a lot of damage going to be coming out from this Forsaken Archer here. To say the least now.
I have to say that the Thunderclaw, well, I should say the finished Charged Hammer plus Nullfire Blade combination is actually quite strong. It might seem trollish, but the fact that you're attacking so quickly, that means you're mana burning more often. It also means you have a very, very high chance to proc your the Lightning as well. So it actually synergizes quite well. It is very expensive, and there are sometimes better items and closer matches, things like Shrunken Head, things like Savage Mace that might be more appropriate if the game was closer, but yeah. I think it's fun and just fine in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the big point to stress. Obviously, they're in a very comfortable lead here. If this was more of a very close game, then probably wouldn't see this item build coming out from Nox, but QsQ feeling very comfortable as a team that they're in a very, very, very good spot. And again, it's not like it's a complete troll item by any means at the same time. It definitely has potential to be very, very powerful, and it is a lot of damage output in an AoE style even, especially with that split shot ability. But Congra, I think Congra is probably going to be what the Hellborn team waits for once again. You got to think maybe another minute here, and Congra will resurrect, and then they'll look to finish it off this game perhaps with a finishing push. So PUDG is literally just on a very, very short timetable now as far as making something happen. You do have Magebane continuing to farm solid here, 385 gold per minute about. He did go Whispering Helm, actually, himself, and he also now has a Quick Blade picked up, so We'll see probably the Firebrand eventually coming out of him. Top lane in the meantime. Empath in a little bit of trouble. We'll use the As One ability at the last second before he falls. We talk about that as being so powerful for such a hero. The good job with the Essence Link stun. Nice Storm Spear from Bubbles, though. And Bubbles may escape right here. Going to use to take cover. Can he actually get away? Yes, the Shell Star part by Magebane blinked, expecting it to happen. And he was correct. So he gets the kill, but now he runs into Forsaken Archer, who's dishing out a lot of damage. There goes a crippling volley, but not going to be able to finish him off. He's in the woods. Now the rest of the heroes need to be a little bit careful here. Tempest, Empath, and to go through the money to fall back. In comes Pebbles, actually. He'll get a double tap as a result of Empath being inside of Tempest right there. And Cthulhuphon just going to run away. So good idea from PUDG, but in the end, it did not work out too well.
You know, I always talk about how great Empath is, the idea of being able to sit inside someone else and just kind of be safe. But on the other side of it, if you get a very easy kill on your host, or on the host, it's like, oh, a twofer. I get another free kill. Cool.
Yeah, it worked out pretty, as we saw right there, according to Pebbles. Ooh, nice portal key reaction. Blinking away time. So we do have Forsaken Archer right now, taking a little bit of tower damage here. But, of course, using the Geometer's Bane and going to start taking out the tower. And there we go. Cthulhuphon just singing in the background. Obviously, really not much they can do. Do they have a Tempest Ultimate? Yes, they do. So that really has to be the name of the game here for PUDG. The 5-man Tempest Ultimate setting up the comeback of the century. Will they pull it off is the big question. Their melee racks is going to start dropping here. And again, Forsaken Archer, just she ain't afraid of no ghost. She doesn't even have a token of life this time, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna fall back here and maybe just go for that Conqueror kill, just to guarantee it. But now they're gonna come back in and gonna find that sweet spot here. So Cthulhuphon charging up, missing the trample though, but now he's in a pretty bad spot. Gonna activate that Barb Dharma. In the meantime, a kill in the background actually happening on Empath, so she is now dead. Where is Tempest? You know you're just waiting for it. Faye jumps in, Magebane jumps in as well, but Tempest is still sitting back, waiting for the right time. Just ain't getting it. So melee racks will fall right here as no invulnerability delaying it. But
well, the players are so farmed on all their heroes. They don't need all the players in the front lines to be there to hit the racks.
Yeah. They
can do it just fine with this Forsaken Archer and Pebbles doing that.
There we go. There's the Tempest Ultimate, and it's canceled immediately as Kelphill was put down. He falls. Everyone's falling here. Cthulhuphon will go down, and like I said, I'm pretty sure the game is... Oh, nice Mana Rift, actually, at the last second from Magebane. He gets a kill out of it, but he's now going to fall after himself. So they take out Forsaken Archer, but the GG well plays are being called, and I don't know. I just tried to type in chat, but that doesn't work in a replay.
Hey, it's okay. I loaded the wrong game. So.
Yes, you have me beat today so far, Trav. So that is going to do it. Game 1 will go to QsQ357 here in this best of 3. And, of course, they are now up 1-0. Looking like a comfortable start for them. So we'll see how PUDG responds, of course, by QsQ. Definitely in the better spot. And Nox on Forsaken Archer. You know, Forsaken Archer in general, of course, as you even put it, has been a hero we've seen a lot lately, it seems like. And doing so well. But Nox, once again, performed so well on her.
Yeah, definitely. And we've been seeing a lot more, at least I have, of a lineup and strategy where you have a strong solo in the short lane, not so much a pseudo tri-lane starting off, but a very strong solo because there is so much suicide heroes in the metagame. And the best way to play against those is to not put 2, definitely not put 3, because otherwise you're just spreading out experience too much, but just put 1 hero there. And it seems to work a lot better, and I've seen that with this game specifically. You had the Forsaken Archer doing just fine. You had the dual lane mid with Luna Pebbles, and I've been seeing a lot more dual lane mids, and it seems to be working out right now really well for the teams trying that. Yeah. And so well played by QsQ. They had a very strong draft. Again, Parasite is a hero we've seen a little bit more often in this last couple of weeks or so. But and then of course the Suicide Bubbles. It's an overall very strong lineup coming out from QsQ. And PUDG, they had some good ideas. Cthulhuphon up in the long lane still did quite fine. He actually did get good experience, but you know, just the farm on Pebbles is really the biggest factor.
Yeah, and obviously Magebane, you know, he got off to a fantastic start. We talked about his creep score. I mean, he was near perfect, it looked like, there early on in the game. But, you know, that's the thing. Obviously, it can be susceptible to some ganks earlier on. And if you take advantage of that with heroes like Parasite, like Bubbles, that silence especially really can screw him over if you can't blink away. And then QsQ specifically just played it very well in the end. Of course, came through with a victory. So strong lineup, strong play results in a victory for QsQ here. But that is just game 1 here in this best of 3. So will we see a game 3 with a game 2 victory for PUDG, or will QsQ sweep it? You'll have to stay tuned and find out. Tell your friends, everybody. We're going to be coming back with game number 2 here between PUDG and QsQ357. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.